All right. Wires everywhere. Focused. A little bit of some shine on the forehead. Never hurt anybody. Chat is working. Welcome. Let's give it a sec to get everyone here. Big game tonight. Very rare that we get an awesome Thursday night game presented by OddsShark. Got to keep the lights on. Looking one last thing up before we get set on this thing. And then, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Forget this. I'll deal with this later. All right. Welcome to the show. 0-4 Monday night. This is just what life is now. Life is just picking not only losers, but picking an extraordinary amount of losers at the same time without any variation. Picking winners. It was a fool's errand on Sunday to think that that Thursday night run would last. That was a nice run last Thursday. One day. 0-4 Monday night. Bears plus 3.5. I don't regret that one all that much. There was a shot there. They just suck. I mean, they suck. Dalvin Cook under rushing yards, that one stung. We had that one the whole way. And then the doors got blown off late. The Bear defense had enough, and Cook rips off a couple big runs. We had that one. That was a good bet. I'm okay with that one. Buffalo minus 31 against Bowling Green. Weather got us there. And Sadiq Bey in the NBA draft did not go under 14.5. 0-4. On the season, 80 and 107. So cold in this stream. This is the coldest spot I'm at. Daily wager's been pretty good. Bet's been okay. Speaking of which, if you want to see Bet, the live stream Tyler Fulgham and I do on ESPN Plus and all their streaming channels, getting promoted tonight. Going to be on ESPN2 midnight Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific if you want to check it out. Probably will go ice cold there as well. But I've decided I'm going to go Stoic. I'm going to try to learn from the Stoics. This is called the Daily Stoic. It's by Ryan Holiday. I've read some other work by him. Good stuff. Ego is the enemy. Stillness is the key. There's a third one. The obstacle is the way. Say what you want about the names. They're good books about mindset. Yeah, little philosophy there, Abby. So we're going to read a passage here, and we're going to try to get ourselves right because something's got to change, right? What do I do? Do I buy a dog? I got to do something. Nothing can satisfy greed, but even a small measure satisfies nature. So it is that the poverty of an exile brings no misfortune, for a place of exile is so barren as not to produce ample support for a person. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Lost me early, fully lost me in the middle, lost me at the end. I've gone through some of that book before. It works well for the mind and the mindset. But that's just, I could have used a nice random one. Just stay calm. Life's okay. Just write that down. That would have been fine. Here we go. Stoic philosophy. If we win tonight, though, that book's coming back Sunday morning when we're back next. Just so you know, we have the Sunday morning stream, which is 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. I pick losers for the whole day's card, except for Sunday Night Football. That's when we go streaming again. At the end of the last afternoon game, we go live to preview Sunday Night Football. I think we got Raiders Chiefs this week here in Vegas. That's going to be good. Pick some losers there, and then we'll be back on Monday. Check out Joseph Campbell. There's a doc so you don't have to get lost in the words. I'll be sure to. Thank you very much for that recommendation. Joseph Campbell. It's one of the things I like about Joe Rogan. He'll bring these authors on his podcast, and in 2 hours, you get the whole book rather than have to sit down and listen to 16 or 18 hours of the audiobook. All right, let's get to work here. Line moves. We did this on Monday. We talked about, I was going to start doing this on Monday, start talking about key moves just to get our heads rattling around it early in the week regarding look-ahead lines into the new releases. Well, from Monday until now, 3 games stand out with some significant moves. The Saints were a 7-point favorite on Monday for the game against Atlanta. That's down to 5. There's some money coming in against Jameis Winston. Who'd have thought? Baltimore was a 6.5-point favorite against Tennessee. That's down to 5.5. Some places it's as low as 5. Tennessee's getting hit. It happened today. I just want to make sure you're aware of that. A lot of people are going to look at Baltimore and say big bounce back spot, this and that. We'll talk about this game later in the week. But remember, the Titans have 10 days to get ready here. And the Ravens cannot play from behind. The Chiefs game, the Patriot game, the Steeler game, if they get down, that's the end. Forehead is so shiny. Yeah, it is a blindingly bright forehead today. I just showered. I put on lotions and creams and tried to get myself looking nice for you guys today. It's the light coming in from outside. It's brutal. Look like an angel. I'm glowing so much. And then the third one, the Chiefs have moved from 7 to 8. That's going to be an interesting one. Apparently, the Raiders, when they beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead back on, I think it was October 11th, got in their buses and did a victory lap around Arrowhead Stadium. And Andy Reid was talking to the media about that this week. Hilarious. So clearly that's going to be their angle for motivation. Weather tonight. Okay, so this is where this starts to get interesting. Seahawks-Cardinals, great matchup for tonight on Thursday Night Football. Rematch from Week 7 where the Cardinals beat the Seahawks in Arizona in overtime. Awesome game. Weather's about 47 degrees, so we're not too concerned there. There's going to be rain off and on in Seattle today. When isn't there, right? Around kickoff, it's supposed to be fine, just cloudy. But about 2 hours into the game, the forecast calls for a 25 to 40% chance of showers throughout. So right around kickoff through the game, 25 to 40% chance of showers. So I was worried about this. But the total's going up. We'll have more on that in a bit. And the wind tonight, 9 mile an hour, we don't necessarily have to worry about that. So I see rain in the forecast, but I don't see any betting to the under. So I don't see weather being a factor as of right now. Now, this could obviously change, but keep your eyes on the line, see if it moves. This is where we're going to go. Injuries tonight, a lot of key ones, especially on the Seattle side. Evan Pocic, P-O-C-I-C. I actually went and studied this morning and went over it multiple times to see if I'd get it right. And I didn't. As soon as I looked down, I realized I completely forgot what I had looked at this morning, and then I just threw it out there. My apologies to him. He's their starting center. He's out tonight. Jordan Simmons, offensive guard, out as well. So problems on the offensive line, problems in the secondary. Chris Carson, the running back, listed as questionable. Schefter from ESPN says it doesn't look like he's going to play. Tyler Lockett banged up as well. Looks like he will play. But again, nothing official yet. So Seattle's coming into this one banged up. Arizona as well. Offensive lineman Justin Murray plays right guard. He's out. Corey Peters, the nose tackle. Jordan Phillips, the right defensive end. They're both out as well. So I don't expect a whole lot of Arizona pass rush tonight. Just throwing that one out there. So that's where we stand on the injuries. Big injuries, both sides of the ball. Pocic, Evan Pocic. Pocic? I want to get that right. I got to get that right before later today. I can't just I'm going to keep saying the Seattle Center. Seattle Center's out. I apologize to him and his family, his bloodlines. I should have that right. I watched I watched at least 8 YouTube videos this morning with different people pronouncing his name. I thought for sure I had that. Pocic. I'm going to call it Pocic, Evan Pocic. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good at all. He deserves better. He's out tonight. All right, line moves for this. The look-ahead line for this game was Seattle minus 5.5. Then Seattle went out and lost to the Rams. They didn't look good in the process. Arizona then went out and beat the Bills on that, what do they call it? The Hail Murray, which is incredible. I cannot believe I didn't think of that. The Hail Murray against Buffalo. So they win that game. Line comes down to Seattle minus 3, which is where it's holding right now. Now, I want to throw another note your way. If you like, let me go ahead and bring this up to make sure we got all the up-to-date stuff. If you like Arizona, I think this is more likely to go to 2.5 than it is 3.5. So get your Arizona 3s right now. If you like Seattle, you can wait a little bit. There's a 2.5 on the market at one place I see, FanDuel in New Jersey, but all the others are minus 3 even money. So this is moving more towards 2.5, Seattle minus 2.5, than it is Seattle plus 3.5. So just a note, if you really like Seattle tonight, wait for now. If you like Arizona, grab the 3 now. Total was about 56.5. It's now up to 57. So a little bit of money on the over. And like I said, this is a monster total. And while there's rain in the forecast, you'd figure if it was a major problem, they'd be moving a little bit more towards the under. It's not. So I'm not going to look at weather as the major. I think I only said we had 5 picks tonight. Idiot. 6 picks. Degenerate mode. 4 on this game, 2 in college. One for a college game tonight, one for a college game on Saturday. I'm walking into one of the squarest possible plays on Saturday, but so be it. I'll give you my reasoning in just a bit. And then I'll have more college stuff later in the week. Check Twitter, Daily Wager, all that stuff. There'll be a bunch tomorrow. So here we go. Pick number one, I am going to play the Cardinals +3. I went back and forth on this one. I don't love this one. Of the ones I'm playing, I like this. I want to be involved in this. I feel as if Arizona is going to be a public dog. They've been winning lately. They've been exciting. People are all aboard the Kyler Murray train. I could see this being one of those situations. The public generally likes to bet favorites and overs. I could see this being a spot where the public saw the Seahawks get waxed by the Rams. They see Kyler Murray continue in an exciting fashion. I could see that being the case tonight. So that worried me. I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe I go with Seattle. Maybe there's value here. I can't find it with Seattle. That's the problem. I can't find the value. I can't find the upside. Anyone who's been watching this for a while or listening to me going back to last year knows I don't believe in the Seahawks. I think they're good, and I think they have a great quarterback, but I don't think they're a tier 1 team. They might not even be a tier 2 team. That's the thing. I've been looking for the regression for a while, and now they're losing games. And it's like I'm getting what I've been predicting, so why all of a sudden do I think there's going to be value in betting on them? Starting corners are out, both of them. Starting centers out. Starting right guards out. Chris Carson could be out. Yeah, Russell Wilson. All right, so that's the point. Seattle's got a great quarterback. They're not a great team. And if Russ makes mistakes, which he's a human being, he can't play perfect in every game. The games he makes mistakes, they suck. Like, he wasn't very good against the Rams. Rams are a good team. They had 2 weeks to get ready for that game. He wasn't very good. They lost. He wasn't great in the Buffalo game. They lost. He wasn't great. He wasn't perfect in that Arizona game back week 7. And they lost. When he plays outstanding, they look great. They win these games by 1 score. But when he's not perfect, those games shift to the other side. Arizona, a lot of people think, they're riding high off that huge win last week, possible letdown here. I mean, maybe. But Kyler Murray's been awesome in the underdog role. Let's start with a few key stats here on the situation. So some trends. This goes back to my point on Seattle, right? Against teams with a losing record this season, they're 5-0. They've played 4 games against teams with a winning record. They're 1-3. The good teams they play, they don't beat. The one win they have against a team with a winning record was Miami with Ryan Fitzpatrick. It wasn't even Tua. And Fitzpatrick has had a pretty good season. Don't get me wrong. He's all right. But Seattle is a slightly above average team with a great quarterback. All right. They're not a great team. So when we talk about who's going to win the NFC, I don't see them winning the NFC. Their defense is terrible. They got injury issues. They've had no problem. They won a tight game against a bad New England team. They beat up on Atlanta at the beginning of the season. They beat the crappy Niners, who are battling 1,000 injuries. You go around the board, they've had some good wins and some close wins. They're exciting, and Russ puts up huge numbers, but they don't play well against good teams. Buffalo has a winning record. They went there and lost. Arizona has a winning record. They went there and lost. The Rams have a winning record. They went there and lost. And then they beat Miami on the road. So this is a home game. You might think maybe that swings. But then here's another point, right? So both these teams are 6-3. Arizona's got a +56 point differential. Seattle's got a +24 point differential. Those two things aren't equal, right? They might both be 6-3, but Arizona's the better team. Home favorites on Thursday Night Football, just a couple trends to throw out. Home favorites on Thursday Night Football, 1-6 against the spread. I don't think that includes last week because by kickoff, the Colts, I want to say, were the favorite. But home favorites have not done well on Thursday night. Maybe maybe these spreads are accounting for home field advantage and there is none because there's no fans. But Kyler Murray as a dog in his career, 12-5-1 against the spread. Very profitable. And his 2 times as a starter, he beat Seattle. I don't know if he was starting the first time because he's had 3 games against Seattle. I should look into that. But he's beaten them outright in his last 2 efforts. So I'm playing the Cardinals tonight. I don't love it, like I said, but I think they have just as good a chance of winning this game as Seattle does, but I'm getting a field goal with the Cardinals. I'll take it. That's the play. That's play number 1. I don't like betting against Russell. I can see that. One of the few picks we got right last week was the Rams, though. 2 weeks to get ready for that game. Shouldn't tout the winners. Just focus on the losers. I'm producing a lot of them. That's number 1. Now, I'm going to play right into a lot of props here. So for, if you're familiar with this, betting on the passing yards props against Seattle. The pass defense is terrible. It's the worst pass defense in the NFL in terms of yards allowed. In fact, the team that ranks 31st, the team that's second worst, is giving up like 43 fewer yards per game. It's not even close. Like, Seattle is so far and away the worst pass defense in the NFL, and they're without both starting cornerbacks tonight. Okay, Arizona likes to go four wide. Hopkins, Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk. Like, how are you going to slow them down? Seahawks giving up 353 passing yards per game this season. The total is 280.5 for Kyler Murray. The Seahawks have given up more than 281 passing yards in 8 of 9 games this year. The only team they did not give up this number to was Kirk Cousins in I want to say Monday night game in Seattle. May have been Sunday night. So there you go. Murray over. I'm also playing Murray over on the rushing prop. I don't really expect to get both. If I do, it's a bonus. And I probably shouldn't be playing it if that's my mindset. But I do like the over on 56.5 rushing yards for Murray as well. So he's averaging 67 a game. So this is 9 yards below his season average. And when he faced Seattle back in week 7, he ran for 67 yards. He's topped this number in 4 straight games. He's hit it in 7 of 9 games this season. I like the idea of playing over on this guy, especially against Seattle's defense. They've just been terrible. I know we're supposed to expect a lower scoring game now that they're getting together for the second time. I really just don't see it. I think this is going to be another high scoring affair. And just for fun, I'm also playing Russell Wilson over 32.5 rushing yards tonight. No Chris Carson. O-line's banged up. I could see him getting flushed out and then having to run down the field. I could see him making big plays in the passing game here. It's not like you have Jalen Ramsey locking down DK Metcalf this week. That happened last week. Ramsey was awesome. Patrick Peterson's not that guy anymore. So there's going to be opportunities to throw, but I could also see some big scrambles here. Gets flushed out, just run. He and Kyler are going to have to duel. When they got together a few weeks ago, he ran for 84 yards in that game. So that's what I'm playing. I'm playing a lot of overs. I'm expecting a lot of production offensively tonight. So it's the Cardinals +3, Kyler Murray over 280.5 passing yards, Kyler Murray over 56.5 rushing yards, Russell Wilson over 32.5 rushing yards. 10-7 final. Seattle wins, push on the one bet, lose the other 3, pouring rain probably. That's where we can see this going with the way the season's played out. 2 college picks for you before we wrap this up. Tonight, Tulane +6 against Tulsa. A few reasons here. Tulsa's off a big win against SMU last Saturday. Quick turnaround. Could overlook Tulane a little bit. I don't necessarily see that as the angle, but they are off a win over a ranked SMU team. That's number 1. Tulane has been playing very well. They've won 3 straight, during which time they've outscored the opposition 114-36. Temple, East Carolina, and somebody else. It's not the who's who of who they've been playing, but they've hung tight in some key games this year that they've lost. They've been putting up some big numbers as of late. Game was 6.5. It's down to 6. There's some money on Tulane. Gonna play Tulane. Tulane +6 against Tulsa. Also, the Bear likes this play as well. We were talking about it this morning. I was asking about underdogs. He talked about this specifically. If this hits, we credit the Bear. If it misses, I take the heat on that. So Tulane +6. And then on Saturday, it's going to be a square play. I'm playing it. Iowa -2.5 at Penn State. It's not like Penn State can have fans, so I don't really expect much of a home field. Iowa had that 1-point loss to a good Northwestern team, and since then, they've kicked the tar out of the opposition, 84-14. They haven't played anyone that great. They played, I think, Michigan State and Minnesota, but they've hammered them. 2 bad teams. What do you think Penn State is? I went there. I want to see them win. They're 0-4. I bet against them last week in that Nebraska game. I knew they were going to pack that in, and they did. They packed it in against a bad Nebraska team. So they're 0-4. They're going to come home and do what? They're going to catch Iowa? The thing about Iowa is they're not really a flat spot team. They might not be great all the time, but they're not a team that overlooks people, and especially not Ferentz. Ferentz from Iowa, the head coach, he has a great history against Penn State. I don't think he's going to overlook this at all. I think he was on Paterno's staff back in the day, and this is always a big game for him. I think there's some angle there. But I'm laying the 2.5 with Iowa. It's mostly a bet against Penn State. They stink. That's that. All right, thank you for watching. I'll recap the picks in just a second. We're back Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. That'll be the Sunday full rundown, except for the night game. We always go live Sunday afternoon. right at the conclusion of the last afternoon game, we'll preview that night game. We'll do props, sides, totals, all that stuff. That will be at the conclusion of the last afternoon game. And then we're always doing Mondays and Thursdays, 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, talking about Monday and Thursday night football. Cardinals +3, Kyler Murray over 280.5 passing, Kyler Murray over 56.5 rushing, Russell Wilson over 32.5 rushing, Tulane +6 tonight over Tulsa, Iowa -2.5 Saturday over Penn State. And if you want to check it out tonight, midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific on ESPN2, Tyler Fulgham and myself, the show Bet We Do, which is on their social platforms, we're getting a shot at ESPN2 tonight. So we're going to be doing that later today. It'll be on tonight. Give it a shot. Also, if you want to watch Daily Wager today, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific as usual. We're doing a lot of NBA win totals, and we're previewing tonight's game. So thank you all very much for coming, as always. We read a little bit of the Stoic book. Hopefully that changes our fortunes here. And if it does, we'll continue to read passages from this Stoic book moving forward. Until then, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday morning.